What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree if you're new here. I go by Knots by Bree on all of my social media. In today's video, we are going to be making some stitch markers together. These are just an example of some that I have created in the past. I enjoy making them in sets. Here are some that I have done from a teddy bear set that I made. And I also have a daisy set. Super cute. So the reason that I started making my own stitch markers was because the plastic ones, I moved my stitch marker every round and the plastic ones kept snapping and breaking on me. So I was like, what am I gonna do? I would lose them because they're so tiny. I was watching Stitches by Patty, and if you don't know, she is another YouTuber here and she makes and sells stitch markers. And I was like, I love that, those are cute. She doesn't show how she makes her stitch markers, which is fine, like nobody has to tell you anything, but I just figured it out on my own and bought some charms and some beads and started playing around to make my own stitch markers. So today I'm going to show you how I like to make them. So before I change the angle so that you guys can actually see me working on these stitch markers, let's talk about the items that we're going to need in order to get started. For me, I like to use these eye pens to create my stitch markers. I just find that they're the easiest option. For the clasps, I use these huggy earrings. So they just kind of open like this and like close. They're kind of like the earrings that people make. I prefer these to the lobster clips because I feel like the lobster clips are hard to open and they always break my nail. But if you want, you can use lobster clips. I have some. I just don't use them for that purpose. I use them for like jewelry when I make bracelets or necklaces or something. So you can use these as well. They do make some with a larger eye hole, so I would recommend that, especially if you work with plushy yarn. I bought this on Amazon and it comes with like all the different size jump rings and some lobster clips. I have some pliers. I purchased these also off Amazon because it's really hard to open up the jump rings and things to get your clasp and charms on, which is the fun part. In this video, we're going to be doing the Sanrio characters. I have Frog, I have Cinnamon Roll, Pachaco. I don't know all their names. I have Melody and the one that starts with a K. I do not remember her name, but she's cute. And then I do not know this yellow one. If you guys know, comment down below, who is this yellow dog? So yeah, those are the charms that I have to make in this video. Oh, beads, I almost forgot. So I have these big glass beads. I bought them from Hobby Lobby. And then I also have teeny tiny beads that I bought from Amazon. And I will say with seed beads, like if you're just making stitch markers or something, it's fine. But if you're gonna be making something more like jewelry, I would recommend buying quality seed beads because these ones are all different sizes. The sizing and the shape is not consistent throughout the beads. So when you're making jewelry, that really does matter. But these have a very consistent size and shape. And I bought these from Joann's. They're silver, nothing fancy, super basic, but I can definitely tell a quality difference. I have a very few colors in the quality beads because you do have to buy them individually. These say that they costed $4.49 for just this. And I think for this whole set right here, I maybe paid like $8 or $9. So there is a price difference, but if you're making jewelry, it is worth it. If you're just making stitch markers like me, don't worry about it. And then if you want to be fancy, you could get some, I cut this open, so I'm holding it. You could get some like, what are these called? Bicone? What are they? I don't know. You can get some fancy beads. Okay, so that is all of the supplies that we're gonna be using today. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the camera and we'll get started. We're gonna make a couple together and then I'll just come back at the end and show you the rest. The hardest part about this whole process is picking the beads. I think I spend the most time doing that. And so I'm gonna do that off camera because if I sat here with you guys and try to like pick all the beads and how I wanted it to look, we'll be here all day. I'm gonna pick my beads out and then I'll come back and show you how I add them together to make the stitch markers. All right, class is now in session. I had accidentally already attached Cinnamon Roll to her. Uh-oh, there she is. So we're not gonna do her first. If I'm making a set, I normally do try to make them match, but for this one, I kind of just went with whatever I felt would look nice for the piece. So keep that in mind, like they might not look like a set at the end. So the first thing I'm going to do with my eye pen is open it so that I can get my charm on. And we're gonna start with this cutie here. I cannot remember her name to save my life. Uh-oh, where is she? There she is. We're gonna start with her. Once you just slide it on, You're just gonna close it back. And then for closing it back, I use the flathead ones, while for opening it, you'll notice I use the more like round ones. I also use these ones for closing it. It just works better that way. So once your charm's on, you'll just start stacking your beads. I use these little shimmery pink ones for her. I don't know if you can see it, but you'll see it once it's on here like that. And then I add the black ones. And then I didn't mention these because they're not really a necessity, but when my nails are longer, I struggle to get these little tiny beads on. See what I mean? I struggle to get these little tiny beads onto the eye pin. I sometimes use those tweezers, but even that sometimes does not work out the way I'm hoping it will. And it's just a pattern, whatever pattern you choose with whatever beads you choose. I will say I definitely overpaid for these Sanrio character charms. I got them off Amazon because I wanted to do this video this week and I didn't have any charms left that I thought would be cute. So I went looking for some charms and I saw these on Amazon, so I bought them. But I will say the best place that you can get little charms for your beads is going to be, you know, like your Temu, AliExpress, Shein type of place. They'll have them for pretty inexpensive. But if you don't want to shop on those sites, I also totally understand that. And you can get them from Amazon. You just have to pay a little bit more. Once you have finished it and you still have a little bit of room left at the top, I'm going to try to add one more pink bead, but there might not be enough space because you do have to leave a little bit of space. Yeah, so like as you can see, that little bit of space left up there on the top, it's not going to be enough because I have to be able to loop this back down with the pliers. I mean, maybe. I like to live on the wild side. Let's try it. Yeah, I don't think so though. So I'm just taking my pliers and I'm kind of like twirling it down. Yeah, it's not gonna be enough. I can't loop it all the way down because the bead is in the way. So I am gonna have to take that one off. But before I close it all the way, I'm gonna add so it's kind of like twisted, like in a loop right there. And then before I close it, I'm gonna add my pin. Sorry, I'm gonna add my huggy. I call them huggies. I don't know what they're called, but I'm gonna add my clasp that'll close around my project when I'm crocheting. And again, you can use a lobster clasp for that. It all just depends on your personal preference. And then you just squeeze it shut all the way. Make sure you squeeze it all the way shut. You don't want it to fall apart when you're working on a project and then your beads come out. Honestly, we've completed one. There it is. There she is. Let's do another style. We're gonna take cinnamon roll. For this one, we're going to use these teeny tiny glass beads. They're just like the pink ones that I used on the last, except they're just much, much, much smaller. I will say when you're selecting your beads, if you do beads like this, they are heavier. So just keep that in mind that when you're working on your project, you will feel the weight of these hanging from your project. So that's why some people will literally just do a clasp, a jump ring, and a charm to hang from their project because it'll be super lightweight. But I like to add a little razzle dazzle, and these are tiny, so I'm gonna double it up for this pattern, or I'll be using beads for days. These slightly transparent beads I thought would look really good because the characters are also that kind of translucent jelly-like aesthetic, but I'm finding that their color just kind of washes out. So keep that in mind if you like the look of the jelly translucent beads. They do kind of wash out when they're not all grouped together. Also, if you have littles in your house like I do, you're gonna want to like really have something to work on that your beads aren't gonna roll away. This is actually like a jewelry holder that we previously just had in our home, and I repurposed it because when I first started working with the beads, I didn't know this, and they would just roll around on the table or on the plate that I had them on and drop onto the floor. And I didn't want her to get a hold of them. Okay, so I added all my beads and I'm just twisting it back around. As you can see, there's a little loop left there. And then you're just gonna add your clasp. There we go, cinnamon roll. is done. I don't know if I love this. It's super skinny, but I will say it's super lightweight that when it's hanging off my project, I won't feel it. So if you're someone who, when you're crocheting, if you feel the weight of something hanging, you might like this type of small bead design because you're not gonna feel it with this. I'm gonna complete the other 3 and I'm gonna speed through it and then we can chat again at the end. I will show you one more time how to attach your charm. So I'm gonna use the needle point pliers, or are they called needle nose pliers? I don't know. Open up my eye pin. I don't know if you can see that, but I opened up the eye pin just a bit. And then I'm gonna put Pachaco on, and then I'm gonna use my flathead pliers to close it. Super quickly, I wanted to pop in and let you guys know that there are 2 kinds of eye pins, and you want to make sure when you're purchasing them to get the right kind. So it looks like, okay, you can see. So as you can see, the one on the right has a loop and the one on the left is just kind of like a flat circle. If you select the one on the left, you won't be able to add a charm at the end. You could add beads and then you can loop it and add a clasp on this side. But because there is no hole on this side and they have that little flat piece there, you won't be able to add a charm. So make sure if you want to add a charm and beads that you select the eye pin with the hole. All right, you guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Here are our Hello Kitty friends that we completed together today. I did miss out on completing Melody. I just ran out of time for her. I will be inserting a clip right now of these up close and personal for you so that you can see what we created. But yeah, just remember to have fun. It is a cute way to enhance time spent while crocheting, and that's why I like them. I do frequently leave them on whips and then I'm like, where are all of my stitch markers? So I have to go back and like find them or just make new ones. But I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something. If you did, please subscribe, like, comment, and yeah, I'll look forward to seeing you guys next week. Bye. Don't forget to clean up, especially if you have little ones, okay? We can't be leaving these beads everywhere. Make sure you didn't drop any on the floor. If you need a vacuum, vacuum, but clean up your beads because they can be very dangerous for the little babies, okay?